one of the great engineering wonders of the world.
It has allowed for the movement of well over 1 million ships back and forth from the Atlantic to the Pacific Ocean.
Panama Canal, and we didn't give it to China, we gave it to Panama, and we're taking it back.
The Panama Canal, a vital global trade route, has been shut down by the USA, causing chaos and leaving ships stranded. The canal moves goods worth billions every day, keeping the world economy spinning. However, a strange event has thrown everything into chaos, leaving ships stranded and nations scrambling for answers. The shocking truth behind this monumental decision will start a war between the US and China. Ancient structures found beneath the waterway were discovered during the investigation. The cracks appeared in critical sections of the infrastructure, and experts suspected they were tied to a hidden tectonic fault line running right under the canal. A rupture could cripple the canal and send shockwaves through the global economy, already stretched thin by other crises. The Panama Canal is more than just a waterway. It's a lifeline for international trade. Shutting it down, even temporarily, could throw supply chains into complete disarray. Governments and corporations started paying attention and panicking, leading the US to send in teams from the US Army Corps of Engineers to help assess the damage and come up with emergency plans. The idea was to work together with Panama to stabilize this vital piece of global infrastructure. While all this was happening, rumors started flying, wondering whether the cracks would force ships to detour around South America's Cape Horn, or if the global economy could handle another massive disruption. The pressure on the Panama Canal Authority was mounting, as they had to reassure everyone that they had the situation under control. As researchers investigated the cracks, they discovered submerged structures beneath the canal. These were not natural formations, but remnants of an ancient civilization, complete with intricate designs and engineering techniques that seemed way ahead of their time. Some experts theorized that the ancient civilization had even attempted to create their own water management system, rewriting everything we thought we knew about the region's history. Of course, discoveries like this don't happen without controversy. Some people speculate that the US government knew about these structures all along and had been keeping them under wraps. Others wondered if this ancient site could somehow be connected to the cracks in the canal, weakened the foundation for one of today's most critical infrastructures. As work began to fix the cracks, something unexpected was found underwater, pulling everyone's attention. The Panama Canal, one of the world's most important trade routes, is facing a global trade crisis that has not only affected shipping routes, but also revealed hidden treasures. The cracks in the canal's foundations have required specialized equipment, massive amounts of funding, and global coordination. Shipping companies are already experiencing delays, with some goods taking weeks to transport. The cost of these delays has real-world impacts on industries and consumers worldwide. As the US and Panama worked together to stabilize the canal, public interest in the ancient structures grew, with high-resolution images showing paved pathways, tools embedded in sediment, and remnants of what appeared to be walls or foundations. Theories about the civilization that built them ranged from the plausible to the downright wild, with some believing these were the works of advanced pre-Columbian cultures, while others pointed to legends of lost civilizations in Central America. The Panama Canal's recent challenges are not just about fixing a waterway anymore. It's about balancing modern needs with ancient revelations. The story will shake up more than just shipping routes. Engineers are not just worried, they're sounding the alarm. Even a small earthquake could turn those fractures into something catastrophic. With 12,000 ships passing through the canal every year, a failure here would be a global disaster. Rerouting around South America's Cape Horn adds weeks to shipping times, throws supply chains into chaos, and leaves industries scrambling for solutions. The stakes are massive, as oil, grain, and electronics are essentials of modern life. If the canal fails, it's not just Panama's problem, it's the world's. Governments and markets are already on edge, with the Panama Canal Authority racing against time to patch things up. The rainy season, threatening to make those fractures worse, and a newly discovered fault line into the mix, create a perfect storm of problems. Deep below the surface, investigators found rare minerals like lithium and cobalt, which are the backbone of modern tech. from smartphones to electric cars. This isn't just an engineering problem, it's a geopolitical flashpoint. The United States is stepping in to maintain its grip on a critical trade route, handing over control of the canal to Panama in 1909 to 1910. The Panama Canal is a crucial player in global supply chains, and its failure could have significant consequences for Central and South America's economies. Stabilizing the canal not only protects commerce, but also counters potential rivals like China, which has been pouring money into Latin America. The canal faces challenges such as millions of gallons of fresh water being drained into the ocean every time a ship passes through its locks, which affects nearby lakes like Gatun and Alajuela, which serve as lifelines for local communities, wildlife, and the canal itself. Prolonged dry seasons and unpredictable rainfall are pushing the canal's ecosystem to the brink, with experts warning of a tipping point where these lakes might not have enough water to keep the canal running. This could disrupt global trade, impact biodiversity, and livelihoods of people who depend on these water systems. Repairs are critical, but every effort to fix the infrastructure risks upsetting an already fragile balance. Debates are heated, with engineers exploring options like recycling water used in the locks or designing systems that depend less on fresh water. Environmentalists argue that focusing on keeping the canal running without addressing its environmental impact is just kicking the can down the road. The future of the canal is tied directly to the health of its surroundings, and ignoring that fact could lead to bigger disasters. Strange and unsettling phenomena in the canal's waters have caused unease among fishermen, who have reported seeing whirlpools suddenly forming and eerie, low-pitched sounds coming from below the water. Geologists think there might be a fault line beneath the canal causing underwater pressure anomalies and microseismic events, potentially putting the canal's already strained infrastructure at even greater risk. The global implications of this crisis are staggering, as the Panama Canal is a vital artery for international trade, facilitating the transit of over 12,000 vessels every year. Even a short-term disruption could cost the global economy billions of dollars. The solution is not just about quick fixes or patching up cracks. It's about rethinking the entire system, using innovative technologies and sustainable practices to balance human needs with environmental responsibility. The Panama Canal, one of the world's largest trade routes, is a symbol of the fragility of global trade. It connects major markets in Asia, the Americas, and Europe, with industries relying on just-in-time deliveries taking the hardest hit. This situation highlights the fragility of global trade, as a single hiccup can disrupt shipments, drive up prices, and leave shelves empty. Comparing the Panama Canal to the Suez Canal is like comparing apples and oranges, as both are critical to global trade but face different problems. The Suez has been a geopolitical hotbed for decades, while the Panama Canal faces modern challenges such as aging infrastructure, water shortages caused by climate change, and the discovery of a nearby tectonic fault. These challenges aren't about military conflict, but how to make the canal resilient in a changing world. The Strait of Malacca, a lifeline for vessels moving between the Indian and Pacific Oceans, faces vulnerabilities from piracy, overcrowding, and regional tensions in Southeast Asia. The risks are different, demanding innovative engineering rather than more security guards. Each trade route faces its own brand of trouble, shaped by geography, history, and the shifting tides of global politics. Technology has stepped in to help monitor and manage these massive waterways, with the Panama Canal now using advanced monitoring systems driven by artificial intelligence to predict weak spots and flag potential failures. However, even with all this tech, the canal cannot predict tectonic shifts. If the ground decides to move, no amount of early warning systems can stop it. Repairs and upgrades continue, but they come with a hefty price tag. The United States has called for international collaboration to protect critical trade routes like the Panama Canal, reminding us that these waterways don't just belong to one country, their impact is global. As climate change and shifting economic dynamics reshape the landscape, it's worth asking whether we are preparing enough for a future where our infrastructure might not meet the planet's growing demands. The Panama Canal brings together human history, cutting-edge technology, and the raw power of nature. Researchers have made discoveries beneath its waters that hint at untold stories and hidden resources. As the world digs deeper into what lies beneath this iconic waterway, one thing is certain: this story is far from over. Are we ready for what's next?